If you served, got hurt, and now your claim feels like a second battle, then this series is for you. I'll walk you through the 5 starter claims that many vets overlook and the 3 proof lanes that you can use to win without perfect records. I'll show you the multiplier that can take small ratings and turn them into life-changing compensation, ethically and by the books. If you're new here, I'm Lucas Simiter, an Army veteran, a paratrooper from the 82nd Airborne Division, and I had enough of the broken system and the traditional solutions available to us. So I built VetClaims.AI, where we now help over 4,000 veterans per month get the ratings that they deserve. And no, it's not just ChatGPT. We use credible, research-backed, legitimate sources to help you leverage AI to build a smart claim fast. This is education, not legal or medical advice. Regulations change and every case is unique. Pray to Jesus, buy a magic 8-ball, buy another 8-ball, probably from the guy in front of 7-Eleven, and I tell you what, I'll give you the checklist and the language that you can use today to strengthen your claim. If you're new here and you like what you're seeing, mainly me dressed up in a blazer sick as f***, please hit that like and subscribe button to learn more about how you can get the rating you deserve. Go ahead and drop a comment with your top question, except for why I'm congested. Be sure to like, comment, and share, because that helps YouTube understand that veterans not only want the truth, but that this video will help them. All right, let's dive in. Think of your claim as 3 lanes that can all lead to service connection. 1, medical evidence. That's a current diagnosis, treatment notes, and relevant testing. 2, personal evidence. Your MOS, the duties that you had, your deployment history, right? What were you doing during that deployment as well? Hazardous duty and exposure context. Lay evidence, like your personal statement, plus statements from family, buddies, coworkers, your dog, or your coworkers describing what changed and when. You don't need every lane at 100%, but you do need a coherent story. What you have now, what happened in service, or because of a service-connected condition, and how it affects you today is what really matters. That's the critical part of this. Keep it focused. Starter claim number 1, medication-related GI issues. This is mainly going to be from NSAIDs, GERD, gastritis, etc. Many of us have lived on high doses of NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. I'll give you a hint. It's what the doc always gave you. Take some Motrin, call it a day. Find some ibuprofen. Over time, NSAIDs can irritate the stomach and the esophagus and worsen GERD or gastritis. For some people, this can be quite severe. If you've got chronic reflux, difficulty swallowing, or documented gastritis or GERD, get the findings from your provider, right? Prove it. If you're already service-connected for an orthopedic condition that required long-term NSAID use, consider a secondary claim. That secondary claim, in this context, would be for GERD or gastritis. What's going on with you because of the medication you had to take due to a service-connected injury? In the lay statement, explain your timeline, and that can be as simple as something like, I didn't have chronic acid reflux issues before service. I had long-term NSAID use for my knee and back pain in service and after service, and the symptoms of GERD/gastritis started and only got worse after. Consider a secondary claim for GERD or gastritis. Symptoms started or worsened after treatment. Don't change meds without your doctor's guidance. This is about documentation, not self-managing. Starter claim number 2, knees and ankles. Road marches, rucks, parachute landings, towers, motor pool, repetitive load. It all adds up. Even if you didn't go to sick call, you can frame it with personal and lay evidence. I think I should have gone to sick call. I'm congested. Get a current diagnosis, arthritis, tendinopathy, instability. In the personal lane, describe your duties and the environment. We had weekly 8 to 12 mile rucks, frequent jumps from vehicles, airborne or air assault training. In your lay statements, you need to describe how these events and how these things led to injury. You need to describe how these impair your function, stairs, uneven ground, standing around, what you can and can't do anymore. These may be lower than individual ratings, often 10 to 20%, but they're crucial building blocks when you add bilateral involvement or secondary effects. And yes, bilateral involvement means when both sides are affected. So if your left knee and your right knee are affected by the same issue, you get what's called a bilateral multiplier. Vets, real quick, if you're following along and find a lot of this confusing or just downright tedious, my team and I do this for over 4,000 veterans per month. And they see rating increases that are anywhere from 40 to 80 to 100% on average because we helped guide them through this. If you want more proof, go to our Better Business Bureau profile and read some of those reviews, like this one, and this one, and really this one. Check out the link in the description below and book a free call with us today. All right, let's get back to it. Starter claim 3, back pain and degenerative changes. I've always been a degenerate, so I don't know if that'll change. Back claims get denied as aging. More often than not, that's what the VA will do. So you have to push back with structure. Get your present findings, right? Do you have degenerative disc disease, otherwise called DDD? Do you have facet arthropathy, right? I probably mispronounced that, but it doesn't matter. What about chronic lumbar strain, right? IVDS, intravertebral disc syndrome. All these things, if you use personal context to explain the repeated impact or the vibration exposure and use a clear lay narrative, these things will help you out. This lay narrative doesn't have to be overcooked, right? It can be as simple as saying, I was doing PT at Fort Bragg in 2009 and I felt a pop in my knee, and ever since then there's been constant instability and has only worsened over time. I ignored it then, didn't go to sick call, and that's life. That right there is a strong lay statement. When the records are thin, right, you didn't go to sick call in service, you don't really have anything right now, the one thing that you can do is ensure that you have a current diagnosis. Now, how does one go about getting a diagnosis? Because doctors, they don't tend to sit there right in front of you and be like, well, you're diagnosed with this. Sometimes they do, depending on what it is. But in general, this only comes about when they're referring you to a specialist or they're writing you a prescription. Those are your major keys. And if you don't have VA health insurance or other insurance, going to a specialist can prove costly. So, prescriptions tend to be the number one way to get proof of a diagnosis. It doesn't matter if it's a crazy controlled substance or if it's something as easy as Tylenol. The doctor will write the prescription, and then what they will say is prescribed for X, and that X will be your diagnosis and your disability. That prescription is proof of your current diagnosis. Starter claim number 4, tinnitus and hearing loss, or acoustic trauma. If you've got constant ringing or measurable loss in your ears, you need to get it documented. Get an audiology test and report tinnitus clearly. In the personal lane, tie it to your noise exposure, whether that was the motor pool, the flight line, combat, gunnery, artillery, ship engines, aircraft engines. It really doesn't matter. There's a FAST letter from the VA that states the MOSs that are more than likely exposed to dangerous levels of noise exposure. So in your lay statement, explain the onset of when this tinnitus started, explain the persistence of it. This can be as simple as no ringing before service, started at X range or X deployment, or an X year, name a point and place in your service where this occurred. Even if you get a 0% for hearing loss, which is pretty common, tinnitus is commonly rated and can multiply when paired correctly. Tinnitus can also tie into things like TBI, Meniere's disease, and other claims where tinnitus is a critical center point of it. Starter claim number 5, IBS and presumptives. Know what presumptives really means. For some eras and locations, certain conditions can be presumptive, meaning the VA may presume the link to service if you meet the exposure/time requirement, meaning if you were at a certain place at a certain time, the VA is going to just acknowledge the service connection is real. This doesn't remove the need for a current diagnosis or clear symptom documentation. If you have chronic GI disturbances, talk with your provider. Verify your service history details before filing under any presumptive lane. If this helped, drop a comment with what your biggest VA claim question is, and share this with another veteran who you know needs help going through the claim process.